Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolutely wild story of Spirit Airlines. This is a company that went from being the most profitable airline in America to filing for bankruptcy. And it felt like it happened overnight. So the big question is, how? All right, let's get right into it. The real head-scratcher here, the whole puzzle of Spirit's story, is just how quickly and how dramatically they plummeted from the very top. Okay. Get this. Back in 2015, Spirit was the absolute darling of Wall Street. I'm talking the most profitable airline in the entire United States. Fast forward to today, it's a company that's filed for bankruptcy twice and is literally fighting to survive. So you gotta ask, what on earth happened? How does an airline that completely cracked the code on making money just a few years ago end up here? Well, to really get their downfall, you first have to understand their totally radical, and let's be honest, kind of brilliant rise to the top. Okay, so the story really kicks off with a massive problem. They were losing a ton of money, and an even bigger, way more controversial idea that was about to change air travel forever. So let's rewind to 2005. Spirit wasn't this big name yet. They were just another struggling airline. And when I say struggling, I mean they lost nearly $80 million in just 1 year. They were right on the brink of going under, and it was clear something had to change, and fast. And then a new CEO, a guy named Ben Baldanza, comes in with this totally wild idea. He says, we're going to become America's first ultra-low-cost carrier. Now, you've heard of low-cost, right? Like Southwest? Well, the idea was to take that and crank it up to 11. If Southwest was low-cost, Spirit was going to be ultra-low-cost. We're talking stripping away every single frill from that base ticket price. They called this strategy unbundling, and honestly, it was genius in its simplicity. Here's how it works. First, you get people's attention with a base fare that's so low it sounds like a typo. Think like $9, $19. Then, and here's the trick, you make all your money back by charging for everything else. Want to bring a carry-on? That's a fee. Pick your own seat? Fee. Heck, want a bottle of water on the plane? You guessed it, fee. And you know what? It worked like a charm. It was incredibly effective. Pretty soon, a whopping 40% of all the money Spirit made wasn't even from selling tickets. It was from all those extra fees. This whole unbundling thing had turned into an absolute money printing machine. The results were, well, they were just staggering. By 2015, we're not talking about Spirit having good profit margins. No, they had the best profit margins in the entire US airline industry. Better than Southwest, better than Delta, better than everybody. They were, without a doubt, on top of the world. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? This incredible financial success came at a huge cost. See, while Wall Street was popping champagne, customers, well, they hated them. Despised them. Year in and year out, Spirit was crowned the undisputed champion of the most hated airline in America. So while Spirit was kind of brushing off its terrible reputation with customers, its competitors were paying very close attention to its profits. The unbundling model was just too successful, and eventually the other airlines realized they had no choice. They had to fight back. And the attack came from two sides at once. First, you had the big guys. Delta, American, they rolled out their own basic economy fares. Boom. Suddenly, Spirit's main weapon, that super low price, wasn't so special anymore. Then, at the exact same time, you had new airlines like Frontier and Allegiant pop up, and they just straight up copied Spirit's entire playbook, sometimes on the exact same routes. All of a sudden, Spirit's unique strategy wasn't unique at all. So picture this. They're getting hit from all sides. And right here, Spirit makes a critical, fateful decision. Instead of maybe, improving their service or trying something new, they just doubled down. They decided to go for pure, aggressive growth. The plan was basically to expand at all costs and just try to outrun everybody. But that frantic push for growth, it stretched their already fragile system right to the breaking point. It was like a rubber band pulled too tight. And that runway success story, it was about to hit a brick wall. And that breaking point, it came in the summer of 2021. It was a total perfect storm. Bad weather, IT systems crashing, not enough staff. It all led to a complete catastrophic meltdown. For 10 straight days, the airline was just pure chaos. They canceled almost 3,000 flights, lost $50 million, and all those years of chasing growth instead of investing in their own infrastructure, it all finally came crashing down on them. So now they're bleeding cash, their operations are a mess, but there's one last hope. A lifeline. JetBlue offers to buy them. But then, plot twist, the Department of Justice steps in and sues to block the whole thing. They argued the merger would hurt competition and make flights more expensive for all of us. And in early 2024, a federal judge agreed. The deal was officially dead. With no buyer and losses piling up, Spirit was completely out of options. And the financial fallout? It was just immense. A staggering $1.2 billion loss. It completely wiped out all shareholder value, erasing every single penny of profit they had ever made during those golden years. Just gone. So, that brings us to the big takeaway. What's the ultimate lesson here? After this revolutionary rise and this absolutely spectacular collapse, what was Spirit's billion-dollar mistake? Well, it really all boils down to one crucial thing: the difference between a temporary advantage and a sustainable one. You see, Spirit's whole model, it was built on something temporary. Unbundling was a super clever pricing trick, for sure, but it was never something they could own forever. That genius idea of theirs, the unbundling, it was a fantastic short-term play. It made them a boatload of money. But here's the fatal flaw. It was just too easy to copy. The second their competitors started doing the same thing, Spirit's only real edge just, poof, vanished. And since they never built a trusted brand or offered better service, when their one trick was gone, they had absolutely nothing left to fall back on. And so that leaves us with this powerful billion-dollar question, doesn't it? It's a lesson that's so much bigger than just one airline. It really forces you to think, what's the difference between just a clever trick and a real, lasting advantage that can make a business successful for the long haul?